Jane, I feel like Sue has done some pretty bad things, but I feel like punching a drunk senior citizen in front of thousands of people on stage might be the worst. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
My career peaked in that moment.
Yeah.
It's all downhill.
I know. It's all.
That happened right there.
Yeah. I love that lady.
I think that, and Ian, did you write her line? My husband is.
Yes, yeah.
When I read that, I laughed out loud, and I thought that woman nailed it. I thought she was. She just made her career in that one night. She's 66 years old, and she made her career in that night. I thought it was wonderful. My husband is verbally abusive, and I've been drinking since noon.
But then
Ian Brennan, and ladies and gentlemen.
All hail.
I know the recurring theme is that. Ian, are you drunk a lot?
Yeah, I'm really. I might have a drinking problem.
Yes. But I mean, speaking of you, you're such a sweet guy, but you do write. You're responsible for a lot of Sue's sort of vitriolic, rants. Where does that come from?
I think it's a theory. I think we all do it. But I remember being a kid, and I would walk past my mom as she'd be unloading the dishwasher, or I would be doing it, and then you just sort of picture like stabbing her in the back. And my mom's awesome. Okay. Awesome. Would totally never stab her. But we all have that. Like everybody's just, you just want to be like, just drop an F-bomb. I know. Well, maybe that's why I drink so much.
But I mean, have you ever, like, in your personal life, have you ever, like, unleashed on someone like Sue does? Like, have you been at the grocery store and someone has, like, 12 items and you've been like...
No, it's always that, I call it the Tourette's of shame, when you're, like, leaving a place and you're like, I should have told them off, but you didn't. But, like, with this show, you, like, have the opportunity. You can sort of sit down and be like, how would I really tell someone that they're fat?
I have teachers come up to me and say, God, I wish I could say what you say. So I'm saying it for all the teachers.
Wow.
I support public school.
And then Brad, you are like, I feel like you're like the dude of the set. Like you're like, he's like real, like he's strong and like he likes sports. But you write a lot of the emotional stuff that I think is so interesting. Like you wrote the Kurt sex talk, right? So where did that come from? Which was amazing. I mean, for you, was that slightly autobiographical? I mean,
no, I mean, I never talked to my dad about it, but, or he never talked to me, I should say. But, that was interesting. When we were writing that scene, and
we role-played, just say it.
We role-played. It was like, we were like, what should we say? We didn't want to be technical. We didn't want to get into the mechanics of where you put things and all that stuff. It wasn't really, it wasn't really about that. And so the idea was, Brian was like, well, what would you say to your son? And my son's 5, so I wouldn't say much to him at all right now. But we just started talking, and I said, well, I'd say this. And then Ryan said, well, why? And then I'd say this. He said, well, why? And literally that was it. By the end of the minute and a half, we had a scene. It was almost verbatim what ended up in the episode. And I think that with all that stuff, anytime, people always talk about that relationship between Bert and Kurt and how that's such an interesting father-son relationship, what's it like to be a father to a gay son. And I always say it's really just a father and son relationship. The gay part is a complication for Bert, certainly, and for Kurt, but it's really just father-son stuff. And so, I try and just, as a father, I'm not always a great dad. I mean, he's 5, so how much can I fuck up? But, he's, but I try, it's the father all of us would want to be, I think, and the dad we'd all kind of want to have. And I think Mike O'Malley does a great job and has really done a great job in helping kind of make that character who he is. And I think you can be a dude and be emotional.
Yeah, you prove that.